When the rain chose us. The first time Daniel saw Amina, the sky was breaking open. Rain poured like the world had been holding its breath for too long and finally exhaled. The streets were nearly empty, except for a few stubborn souls trying to outrun the storm. Daniel wasn't one of them. He stood beneath a rusted bus stop roof, watching the rain hit the ground like shattered glass. That's when she ran in. Breathless. Soaked. Alive. Amina pushed her wet hair from her face, laughing softly at her own misfortune. She didn't notice him at first. She was too busy catching her breath, pressing her hands against her knees, and shaking droplets from her scarf. Daniel noticed everything. The way her laughter sounded like relief. The way her eyes scanned the rain like she wasn't annoyed, but fascinated. The way she didn't curse the storm like everyone else would. "You're smiling," he said before he could stop himself. She looked up, surprised. Their eyes met. "Yes," she replied simply. "Why?" She stepped closer to the edge of the shelter, stretching her hand into the rain. "Because it feels like the world is being washed clean." Daniel blinked. Most people saw inconvenience. She saw beauty. Or maybe, she added, glancing at him, I just like things that don't ask permission before they happen. That was the moment something shifted inside him. They started talking, because there was nowhere else to go. The rain didn't stop. Minutes turned into an hour. An hour turned into something neither of them could define. Daniel learned that Amina loved stories, not just reading them but living them. She believed life wasn't meant to be predictable. She wanted to travel, to feel, to fall, to rise, to experience everything deeply, even pain. Amina learned that Daniel was the opposite. He liked structure, plans, certainty. He believed in doing things the right way, even if it meant suppressing what he truly felt. His life was neat, controlled, safe. "You don't take risks, do you?" she asked. "I take calculated steps." She smiled. "That sounds like a very careful way of saying no." "And you," he countered. "You just jump into everything?" "Not everything," she said. "Only the things that make my heart race." Their eyes met again. For a second, the rain felt louder. When the storm finally calmed, neither of them moved. "Well," Daniel said awkwardly, "I guess this is where we go our separate ways." "Unless," she said, tilting her head, "you want to see what happens if we don't." He hesitated. His entire life had been built on avoiding uncertainty. But something about her made uncertainty feel necessary. "Okay," he said. And just like that, his life changed. Their connection didn't grow slowly, it collided. They met again the next day. Then the next. Soon, it wasn't about coincidence anymore, it was choice. They walked for hours, talking about everything and nothing. Amina would drag him into random streets, small cafes, unfamiliar places. "This isn't on the way," Daniel would say. "That's the point," she'd reply. She taught him how to live without a script. He taught her how to pause. She showed him how to laugh without thinking. He showed her how to feel safe without running. They were different in every way, and somehow it worked. One evening, they found themselves sitting on a rooftop. The city lights flickered below like scattered stars. The air was quiet, almost sacred. "Do you ever think about the future?" Daniel asked. "All the time," Amina said. "And? I think it's overrated." He laughed. "That doesn't make sense." "It does," she insisted. "People spend so much time planning a future, they forget to live the present. And what if the future matters?" She turned to him, her expression suddenly serious. "Then we'll face it when it comes." Silence fell between them. Daniel studied her face, the way the light touched her eyes, the calm confidence in her voice. "Amina," he said softly, "what are we doing?" She didn't answer immediately. Instead, she reached for his hand. Living. It wasn't long before love found them. Not the kind that sneaks in quietly, but the kind that crashes into your chest and refuses to leave. Daniel realized it first. It happened on an ordinary day. They were sitting under a tree, arguing about something trivial. Amina was animated, passionate, completely herself. And he thought, I never want to lose this. That thought scared him. Love meant risk. Love meant loss. Love meant stepping into the unknown without guarantees. Everything he had avoided. But with her, it didn't feel like a choice. I love you, he said suddenly. The words hung in the air. Amina froze. For a moment, Daniel regretted it. Maybe he had said it too soon. Maybe he had crossed a line. But then she smiled. Not the playful smile he was used to. Something deeper. Something real. I was wondering how long it would take you, she said. His heart skipped. You? I love you too, Daniel. For a while, everything felt perfect. Too perfect. And that's when reality started to creep in. Amina had dreams that stretched far beyond their city. She wanted to travel abroad, study, explore the world. She had applied for a program that could take her away for years. Daniel, on the other hand, had his life rooted where he was. A stable job, family responsibilities, a future that depended on staying. They had avoided the conversation. Until they couldn't. "You got accepted, didn't you?" Daniel asked quietly. Amina nodded. "When?" "2 weeks ago." His chest tightened. "And you didn't tell me?" "I didn't know how." "By saying it, Amina." "It's not that simple." "Why not?" "Because I knew this would happen," she said, her voice breaking. "I knew you'd look at me like I'm choosing something over you. Aren't you?" The question hit harder than he intended. Amina stepped back like she'd been struck. "I'm choosing my life," she said softly. "And what about us?" Tears filled her eyes. "You're part of my life, Daniel. But you're not all of it." He felt something crack inside him. For the first time, their differences didn't feel beautiful. They felt impossible. The days that followed were heavy. Arguments replaced laughter. Silence replaced connection. They both loved each other, but love wasn't enough to erase reality. Daniel wanted her to stay. Amina wanted him to understand. Neither could give the other what they needed. The night before her departure, it rained again. Just like the first time they met, Daniel stood at the same bus stop, waiting. He didn't know if she would come, but she did. They stood in silence for a long moment. "No speeches?" Amina asked softly. Daniel shook his head. "I don't trust myself." She smiled sadly. "That's new." He looked at her, really looked at her, as if trying to memorize every detail. "I don't want you to go," he admitted. "I know. I'm scared." "I know that too." "Then why does it feel like you're not?" Amina stepped closer. "Because I am," she whispered. "I'm terrified, but I'm going anyway." "Why?" "Because if I don't, I'll regret it for the rest of my life." The honesty in her voice left no room for argument. Daniel closed his eyes. He had spent his whole life avoiding regret. And now, he was standing face to face with it. "What if this is it?" he asked. "What if we don't find our way back?" Amina's eyes softened. "Then we'll know we were real," she said. "Not perfect. Not forever. But real." The rain fell harder. Daniel felt tears mix with the water on his face. "I don't want real," he said. "I want you." She reached for his hand. "You have me," she said. "Just not in the way you want." They kissed like it was the last time. Because it might have been. Amina left the next morning. And for the first time in his life, Daniel felt completely lost. Months passed. Then a year. Then 2. Life moved forward, but it didn't feel the same. Daniel changed. He started taking risks. Traveling. Trying new things. Living in ways he never would have before. Because loving Amina had changed him permanently. One evening, he found himself standing in the rain again. Not hiding. Not running. Just standing. And for the first time he smiled. "You finally learned," a voice said behind him. He turned. And there she was. Amina. Time had changed her, but not in the ways that mattered. Her eyes still held that same spark. Her smile still carried that same warmth. "You came back," he said, barely able to breathe. "I told you," she said softly, "we'd face the future when it came." He stepped closer. "What does this mean?" She smiled. "That depends." "On what?" "On whether you're still the man who waits for certainty." She reached for his hand. "Or the one who learned to live in the rain." Daniel looked at her, then at the sky, then back at her. "I think," he said slowly, "I'm finally both." Amina's smile widened. "Good," she said. "Because I'm not done with you yet." And just like that, the rain chose them again. If you enjoy watching this video, don't forget to subscribe to A Nice Stories TV for more interesting story. Thank you.